Thank you most sincerely for joining us on today's episode of Tax Matters. My name is Olumuyiwa Matuluko. Last episode, we had two guests on the program. Mr. Kola Okunla, the Director, ICT Department at the Federal Revenue Service, and his counterpart, Mrs. Frances Okorafor, Director, Revenue Accounting Department. The duo looked at ICT as a tool in tax administration. Mr. Okunla, for example, spoke about the deployment of the Integrated Tax Administration System, ITAS, at the FRS, some of the components of which include electronic filing of tax returns and electronic payment of taxes, seamless paying from the comfort of your home or office. On our part, Mrs. Okorafor looked at refund of overpaid taxes as a major component of tax administration. Where taxes have been overpaid, how does the taxpayer get refunded? Because of time constraints, we couldn't conclude the interviews, and we did promise that we will do so today. But the way we're going to go about it today is that we're going to allow only Mr. Okunla to run through his thoughts on the use of ICT in tax administration. The Federal Revenue Service, through your department, is currently engaged in a VAT automation system, VAT collection system. What's that about and how far have you gone?
The fundamental of the VAT automation process is to provide visibility of tax payments in the various sectors, such that the taxes are taken automatically and remitted to FIRS. And this reduces the incidence of delayed payment, under remittance, late remittance, or non-remittance. We plan to roll it out to the various sectors of the economy, but so far it has gone live successfully in the aviation sector. And what that means is that as people are flying, as people are taking flight, the VAT component is automatically calculated and deducted and also remitted to the relevant Federal Inland Revenue Service account at the CBN. Okay. That's the VAT pool account. So that is the starting point. Okay. We know that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Yeah. We are targeting the various sectors of the economy, but we have started with the aviation sector for now.
And how has that paid off? How has it paid off?
Well, we have done some analysis, and there have been a lot of improvements and efficiency in the tax collection process, the VAT collection process, as a result of that. And even there is less pressure on the subscribers on that platform, because the temptation of keeping the money and then having to undergo audit and getting embarrassed has been removed for such entities. So this is the beauty of it.
Where are you going next from the aviation industry?
From the aviation industry, we are looking at the power sector, the telecom sector. Oh, those are the next, and as well as the MDAs. That's with respect to MDA payments. Those are the next sectors that we are targeting.
We even understand that you started an experiment with your service, the FRS, automatic deduction of VAT and remittance.
That is very, very correct. In order to, before rolling out or before doing VAT automation and withholding tax automation in the other MDAs, we started an experiment with the Federal Inland Revenue Service. We used ourselves as the guinea pig, and it was a very successful project, because as we speak now, the VAT and withholding tax components of all transactions in the Federal Inland Revenue Service are automatically deducted and remitted to the CBN accounts. We are liaising with other government agencies in order to be able to replicate the same with other government agencies.
Talking about government agencies, but this time around from a different perspective, we look at organizations that have linkages with the FRS, the Corporate Affairs Commission, the Federal Road Safety Commission, Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, and other bodies like that. What is your department doing to be able to have a single interface with these relevant organizations? For example, when a business owner or a prospective business owner registers his business newly at the CAC, you have always insisted that I must get a TIN number and I have to come or go to the nearest FRS office. Are you working on a decision where the stamp duty, the acquisition of TIN, all can be done at the level of the CAC?
Yes, we are working very closely with the Corporate Affairs Commission with respect to the connectivity. We've actually done a pilot in the past, which was with the former software that CAC was using. So as a company, whenever the new companies were registered, there was exchange of information between the CAC's information system as well as the FRS tax portal. And a tax identification number was automatically generated for that new company. But we had to discontinue that because CAC changed their software platform. They were using a software platform, but they have now upgraded, or rather they are now using, that has been supplanted by a new software, which is more efficient. We are liaising, we are working together with our technical teams. We are at the planning stage right now of how to recreate that interface, which we also deal with things like stamp duty, seamless payments of stamp duties, seamless calculations of tax duties, seamless generation of. So we have started the planning already with respect to that, and also with the joint tax board, because joint tax board has the responsibility of generating tax identification number for all the tax authorities in Nigeria, both the states, that's including the states as well as the Federal Inland Revenue Service.
What about NIMC, the National Identity Management Commission? Do you have any linkage with them? Well,
we have a physical connection. We have a fiber link connecting us to NIMC. We also have links with the Nigerian Customs Service.
Good.
We are exchanging information with the Nigerian Customs Service as we speak.
Okay.
So that is operational. But in the case of the NIMC, we are also at the planning stage. That's because of this harmonization of all government databases. Of course, the NIMC has the mandate to harmonize all the databases for the federal government of Nigeria. And also because there's a transition now as we speak. Before, FIRS and all the states were generating their TINs, tax identification numbers, independently in a disparate method. But now the JTB, there's a platform that generates, we used to call it the unique tax identification number. So, but now we've shortened it to TIN. It is still the tax identification number, and it is unique in reality. And so what this will do is to be able to identify all taxpayers across all tax authorities uniquely, so that if somebody registers with JTB once, you don't need to go back to the Federal Inland Revenue Service to register again. That is the idea behind, that's the concept of the Joint Tax Board TIN. So because of that, the linkage will rest more with the JTB now. than the FIRS. Okay. That's between NIMC and JTB.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service collects personal income tax from residents of the FCT, from officers and men of the armed forces, from policemen across the country, Foreign Affairs Ministry staff. Do you have any linkage with the IPs?
Currently, we do not have any linkage with the IPs, but we have we are already liaising with the Office of the Accountant General, with our colleagues at the Office of the Accountant General, in order to have a link between us. And the link that we're trying to have is starting with, we want to go one step at a time. The first link we're trying to have is with the GIFMIS, Government Integrated Financial Management Information System, which is a separate platform from the IPs. The IPs is the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System. So that is what is used to pay the salaries of federal government workers nationwide in the MDAs, except the revenue generating agencies that are not on that platform. But there are very few agencies that are not on that platform. So with the connection that we start with GIFMIS, when that is completed, the next phase will now be the IPs connection.
Okay. So what is GIFMIS about?
The GIFMIS is, as I mentioned earlier, is an acronym for Government Integrated Financial Management Information System. It is a platform that enables the automation of payments, electronic payments of government contractors, and also for other transactions that may not be contracts. That's all government payments coming from CBN and to the various MDAs. So it's an end-to-end platform which starts with the budgeting module, then the accounts, and the accounting module as well, which provides accountability. It enables transparent accountability of government revenues, government spendings. All the spendings, it tells us how much each MDA has spent and on what they have spent such revenues or such spendings.
Okay. Of what benefit is that information to the FIRS?
The implication of that is that there are a lot of those transactions that have VA tax components, the VAT and the withholding tax components. So there is we have an initiative to interface or integrate the GIFMIS with the FIRS tax portal. And the benefit of that is that there will be transparency, there will be transparent view of all the transactions, and also the tax components, the VAT, withholding tax, and those will also be deducted and remitted. That's another VAT and withholding tax automation project, which is similar to what we have done locally in the Federal Inland Revenue Service. So this is the global equivalent of what we've done locally. That's what we were able to achieve locally, the automatic deduction and remittance of withholding tax, and the value-added tax will be made possible by the time this project is this initiative is completed.
Now, sorry, madam. I know say for my name.
I don't check in no day. After all my wahala, these people still no register me.
Haba, I put on 14.
Tingini. Wetin concern tin tomato for inside this matter wey we dey talk now?
Eva, explain for am 14.
Madam, taxpayers identification number TIN, a special number for all correct taxpayers. E dey compulsory if you wan register and do business with government. Without TIN, you no go fit do business.
Abeg, na how much I go pay to collect this thing?
Madam, I get am 14 free.
Madam, take your certificate of incorporation to FIRS office, fill the form, and you go get am one time.
Just like that? Abeg, make I dey go, make I go collect my own
Yowa.
TIN na free o, na for everybody. Na your correct identity. FIRS, it pays to pay your tax.
Welcome back. The program is still Tax Matters, and our guest is still in the house, Mr. Kola Okunla, Director, Information and Communication Technology Department at the Federal Inland Revenue Service. We are looking at efforts that have been made by the FRS in recent time to automate the system, to make the tax administration system in Nigeria ICT compliant. Mr. Okunla, are your members of staff, and you have quite a lot of them spread across the country, are they up to speed? Are they well positioned to make use of all these modern gadgets?
Thank you very much. The human resources happen to be the most important asset of any organization. You can deploy tools and technology and equipment worth billions of dollars. If the people to operate it are not skilled enough, then it will be a waste. So the Federal Inland Revenue Service has placed a lot of emphasis on training and capacity building and continuous training, skills development, skills acquisition. We have FRS staff, Federal Inland Revenue staff, spread across all the states of the Federation as well as the Federal Capital. We have our Career and Skills Development Department, a department that is solely devoted to training, building capacity in collaboration with other stakeholders. So the level of ICT literacy in the Federal Inland Revenue Service is very, very high as we speak. And currently, the ratio of systems, both laptop and desktop, to staff is 95%. That is to say that 95% of our staff have computer systems to work with, either a laptop or a desktop.
95%?
95% of the staff of Federal Inland Revenue Service. Now we have different methodologies for building up the skills of our people. We have the external providers that train our staff. We also train internally. Our ICT department our staff in ICT department are very, very competent, and they provide trainings to the staff. Some of the trainings are done in our training school. We have an ultra-modern training academy. So our staff are able to carry out their work effectively. We have some unique tools that we've deployed in FRS. We have what we call the SharePoint intranet, the SharePoint, which enables a collaboration. It's a collaboration tool that enables us to share our documents all over the Federation. So we can work together using the SharePoint, we share documents, exchange information. We also have the Microsoft link that enables the staff of Federal Inland Revenue Service to talk to each other through video conferencing from any part of the country. As we speak, I can call my staff in Port Harcourt, in Maiduguri, Sokoto, Kaduna, any part of the country through video conferencing. So they will see me, I will see them. I can tell you confidently that as far as Nigeria is concerned, our staff, the level of literacy is very, very high, and it's just not ordinary literacy. It is literacy that is comparable to any in the world.
And that's very good. As we speak today, are you linked to all your offices?
Yes, we are connected to all our offices nationwide. Azare, Ikom, Birnin Kebbi, we are connected to all the offices, and we can communicate through video, through instant messaging. We have connectivity in those offices, far-flung offices, nationwide.
How have you been able to address the problem of downtime? Many a time, the taxpayer goes to an FRS office for something as simple as tin generation, or you bring your e-ticket, you want to have credit notes, various reasons for coming, and they talk about the system is down, the system is down. Is that still pervasive
Well, there has been tremendous improvement. If you look at where we were in 2009 and where we are today, the Federal Inland Revenue Service has made a lot of improvement. As you all know, connectivity is a sovereign problem in Nigeria. And I know that the Honorable Minister of Communication is making a lot of effort towards encouraging broadband penetration, as well as ensuring that we have good connectivity backbone, because that can even be seen as part of the index of development of any country. When you have good connectivity translates to good economy. You can have Nigerians who are resident in Nigeria and they are working in the UK. They are doing a lot of work for them. You will have heard about outsourcing. This is one of the things that will make it possible for us. It is a game changer. Broadband is a game changer. A lot of work has been done. Now we have fiber connectivity to most of our offices. We also have 2 links in our offices, except the newly created offices, which will also have their own 2 links. Some of the newly created offices have 1 link. There are very few, but most of the offices have 2 links, so that if 1 link is down, the other will be working. So right now, we have come a long way. The issue of connectivity, there's tremendous improvement. What I would just advise taxpayers is that if you are not getting good service, talk to Servicom. We have our Servicom unit, which ensures good service standard. So if a taxpayer needs TIN and the taxpayer is not getting it on time, or you need tax clearance certificate or any other service, you should talk to our Servicom unit. You can send them email. In all our offices, you will see the numbers, telephone numbers, the email addresses of our Servicom offices, of our Servicom, conspicuously displayed. So if for any reason you are not getting good service, talk to Servicom.
Before your department came on board, technology has always been in use, but before it became something as big as this, the taxpayers used to experience problems acquiring their withholding tax credit notes. And at various fora, we've been told that with ITAS, with all these initiatives that you spoke about glowingly, that I will not have problems again acquiring my withholding tax credit note. That in fact, as the money is taken from the sum due to the contractor or vendor, his account is credited, and there's a way that things have been made easy. Is that so?
That is part of the ITAS deployment, that in order to make life easier for the taxpayer and to introduce a high degree of transparency, the ITAS platform, as taxes are being, withholding credit notes are being, not only the ITAS platform, but also with the current system. We are already tweaking the current tax portal, or also known as web portal, as well as the ITAS, so that as those transactions are happening, as withholding credit notes are being withheld, or VATs are being withheld, the taxpayer will be notified by email or SMS, as the case may be, that this transaction has happened. But with respect to ITAS, the taxpayer will even have the ability to check his or her own tax account, taxpayer's ledger, which is online, or the K-card. They can even be able to print out those items. That is already happening with the ITAS. The taxpayer can view their accounts. But as you know, these are some of the things, these are ongoing initiatives. So it's just to say that we are not unmindful of the challenges that the taxpayers are facing. But having said that, internally, right now, it is possible for all our tax offices to view the withholding credit notes accruable to taxpayers, especially those that took place from standard entities. If it is those from standard entities and those entities have paid, there is something to withhold, another thing to pay, to remit. So that is why I mentioned standard entities that withhold and remit. If those withheld amounts are not remitted, definitely it will not reflect on our portal. So, but the taxpayer is going to help FIRS a lot. If they have done some transactions and they observe that the withholding credit notes or the tax office is telling them that they cannot see the withholding credit notes, one of the triggers there is that it is probable that the withholding entity might not have remitted. So this will help us to even go after the withholding entity. So we need to work together in order to achieve a more efficient tax system.
We wish you the best of luck in this your onerous task, and we thank you most sincerely for welcoming us into your office.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
You are most welcome.
Yes, sir.